Hello, welcome back to Global Business Europe. China's Shenzhou-16 mission, made up of 3 astronauts, has just completed its first spacewalk. The space agency says all tasks were completed during the 8-hour walk, including installing and adjusting cameras outside the Tiangong space station. The trio are on a 5-month mission after taking over from their Shenzhou-15 peers at the end of May. They're scheduled to return to Earth in November. Well, let's talk to Dr. Amitabha Ghosh, chair of the Science Operations Working Group for the NASA Mars Exploration Rover mission. Dr. Ghosh, welcome. Good to see you. So the astronauts have just completed their first spacewalk. Just how significant is that?
Well, spacewalk is a very big deal. So just putting it in the fundamental terms, first, the pressure is near zero. So, so the astronauts experience this very, very low pressure. 2 is the astronauts can get, it is either very cold or very hot. So you can get hypothermia or you can get a heat stroke. 3rd is there are micrometeorites. So, if these are going at like 17,000 miles or 20,000 miles, and if even a tiny chip hits you, then it's a very big deal. The pressure creates something in your bloodstream called bends. So, it through your veins. So they have to actually lower the pressure 24 hours before and keep the astronauts somewhere else so that that doesn't happen. Then you can get disoriented. And there are astronauts who have gotten disoriented during the spacewalk. Then if the tether, tied to the space station, right? Remember, the space station is moving at about 17,000 miles an hour. So if you get untethered, then it's going to be very tough. So you have to have some form of thing to recover from that. And it's long. It's 8 hours, right? So then, of course, it's very tiring. And you have to prepare a lot. You have to train in the swimming pool, in water, and then train otherwise. So you have to be in top physical shape. It's very difficult.
How important is this milestone for China's space exploration?
So per se, the spacewalk is a part, but if you scope out and look at the bigger picture, so China now has a space station in place. So that's a very big deal, and this is a very big deal when it relates to manned space flight. So so you have a lot of robotic space flight, which is much more easier. So it's much more easier to send robots to space because you don't have to look after them and maintain the temperature and look at life support systems. So this is a very good gauge of how China has mastered the manned spaceflight frontier.
It's a 5-month mission. What other milestones and achievements should we be looking out for that the astronauts are expected to undertake? So
some of it is not that exciting. This is regular engineering housekeeping, but that is very important to keep the space station alive. Then there are science experiments which are being done. So I think there are 1,000 or so total experiments on board the Chinese space station. So they changed the state of the art. For example, there is an experiment from Norway which studies tumor growth in space. It seems that the growth of cancer tumors is different in space than it's in weightlessness than it's on Earth. So, these are things which you don't know, but you might have a serendipitous discovery suddenly, and that might change something on Earth.
Dr. Ghosh, thank you very much indeed for coming on the program. Thanks for sharing your expertise.